pot of Kool-Aid.
You don't make a pot of Kool-Aid.
Oh, I did.
Is it hot? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's hot, isn't it? Yup.
Brother. Yup.
Drink my hot Kool-Aid. I'm just like, when we were preparing for this, I was just looking at cards. I'm obviously going down the road of the dark and expensive road of cards. I wasn't actually looking at One Piece cards this time. I was looking at cards that I already have and kind of like checking the prices, what my cards are worth, and I think it might be a good time to buy like Pokemon cards and stuff because prices have dropped quite a bit. So, here's let me see here. Here's the Telltale. How much is the Evolving Skies series? Because those were pretty expensive. Let's see. So Rayquaza is the most expensive. The Rayquaza alternate art secret rare. Oh man, it is tanked, dude. It was let's see, October of last year. So I'm looking at the year. October of last year was $311, and now it's dropped down. You can buy it for it's still an expensive card, but you can get it for $230. So it's dropped about $100.
Yeah, you'll see trends like that. Usually, just popularity waning, and if they reprint it or things like that, you see that in Magic a lot.
Yeah. I have received most of the cards that I wanted to get. I'm still waiting on. I ordered a bunch of Yamatos, as you know. I did finally get that one that was just stuck in the mail. It was just like it went all the way to my city, and then it started going backwards. So I had to call USPS. I was like, "Hey, stop! Turn around!
Come back!"
Yeah, I was kind of freaking out because that was like the most expensive one that I ordered. Just that's the one that starts going nuts in the mail. Like, please no, please. So, but the one I'm waiting for is the Kingdoms of Intrigue Yamato alternate art. So
that'd be cool.
Didn't you got some Romance Dawn packs or no?
No,
you were trying to.
The Romance Dawn packs are like $9 a pop. I do want to. I want to get like 10 of them because there could be some good stuff in there.
Yeah, the Boa Hancock one that I got was from Romance Dawn, and as well as my most expensive, the secret rare Yamato that I got that was stuck in the mail. That one was from Romance Dawn. So,
man,
sweet. No, I like them, and when you come and visit, maybe we could play a game.
You want to know something really sad?
Huh.
A really depressing thing that's 100% my fault.
Oh no. We're starting our podcast off with depressing things.
Yeah. I ordered those 4 decks. The Warlords, the
starter decks?
The Kaido one, the Luffy one, whatever. And then the Worst Generation.
Okay.
I ordered them in Japanese.
Better start studying up.
What kind of sucks is they don't let you play like at the stores with Japanese cards at all.
Oh, really?
And so
Why is that?
I think it's just for time's sake and for like like if they have it in a region with a language, then they can manage how much are printed in that region language.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you just start going buying them cheap from other languages, maybe that like could flood it a little bit. I don't know. There's
Also,
something to do with that.
I'd imagine it's for general fairness as well, because you could be like, "Oh yeah, it says this." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." I guess I have to believe you, or I have to look it up on my phone
A
for
match
every
takes
card.
Yeah, a match takes a half hour longer because you're like, wait, what's that one?
Ah, yeah,
I don't even know how to look it up because it's in Japanese, you know. So,
yeah. Uh,
anyways,
so I wanted to ask. I can't remember. Was it Eminence and Shadow? Was that the one that you were like tasked with watching for the week?
yeah,
Okay.
that's one I chose that I hadn't seen.
All right. What do you think? Give me the deets.
I, okay. I like it. I like it a lot. I'll try not to go too crazy into my review of it
Mm-hmm.
for everyone, and I'm gonna try to bring the energy up a little bit because I have like a really somber demeanor all the time.
You're just so
Okay,
you have such a
so
calming presence. That's what it is.
well, I should be doing ASMR, but
The next venture.
yeah, this looks anime ASMR. Okay, I liked it, and from the beginning, the basics. I think the protagonist, was a good pick to be reincarnated
Uh-huh.
because he actually really wanted to be, and he trained his entire life learning kendo, martial arts, exercising constantly,
Mm-hmm.
everything. And then he's
Boxing. Chess.
teleported to another world, and he actually has skills.
Yeah.
I mean, he's reborn, like actual born. He's not just teleported,
Mm-hmm.
but like that was really cool to me because it's either got to be, in my opinion, like Konosuba, where Kazuma teleports to the other world. And he's like cool, but he has no skills.
Yeah.
He's just kind of quick
You're
witted.
you're starting fresh, and that's yeah.
Yeah, and he's weak otherwise, and he learns spells really simply, whatever. But this is someone who in the real world was constantly fighting people. Like in the beginning, he fights an ex-military guy,
Yeah.
and he's like, I've always wanted to fight an ex-military guy because now I can see if I'm stronger than a military guy. And so he beats him, and he's like, yeah, I'm stronger than that guy. Now I can, and he's constantly pushing his limits in the real world.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool because I feel like we've all, we watch a movie like the John Wick or something where you have a guy who's surrounded by like 30 military people and they all have like, submachine guns, and he's just alone with like a pencil and he kills them all somehow.
Stapler.
And so he addresses it in the show. He addresses that like I'm not all powerful, and no matter how hard I train, I'm not all powerful. If
Yeah.
guys surrounded me with guns,
I'm
like
done.
maybe I could kill them all with like a super high level of martial arts. But what if a bomb drops on me? I can't fight my way out of that. And so I loved that. I thought that was cool. And then he dies and then gets reborn. And I, I watched the whole thing with my wife, and we just had a blast with it. I think the way they recorded it, not recorded it. Wow, that was the way they animated it.
It was real.
Hilarious.
It
was real.
You were so into it that it was real to you. Okay.
Well, I think they mastered the background. Like they mastered what was happening in the back. Like there's one part where two of the shadows, the seven shadows, are fighting and over who Shadow likes more. And all of a sudden this girl just like comes into the camera and she's looking at the camera into the bushes and she finds a cat, and it's like overshadowing entirely what's going on with the main characters. But she's just sitting there like looking at this cat, and these other people are like, oh, it's a cool cat. But like the story's over there. But it's just little
It's
things like
clever.
that.
Yeah.
It's clever. It's funny. There's interesting things in it. The world they built, I feel like, was cool. It had a decent like magic scaling system in it. They have a big joke play on power levels, and I loved that how they make fun of power levels in that. Um, and yeah, I'm actually really sad that they don't have more out because I'd be watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was really good, and I'm looking forward to more. But I do have one fear
Oh no.
that it's going to kind of turn out similar to Overlord.
Yeah. I think now, regardless, based on what you've said, and yeah, it could, but at least I feel better about the show in general because it was more realistic, and that's like what they're going for. Um, uh, so either way, I don't know. I like Overlord for a lot of reasons, but I definitely like this, and that's kind of the primary reason, is because it's not they didn't take the easy way out. They're not like, oh, you get reincarnated and here's all your power. It's just dumped on you. It's like, no, he was pretty dang strong already, and this just kind of amplified it. So,
Yeah, just the fact that this world had magic
mm-hmm,
and had artifacts and stuff
mm-hmm.
made it so that someone with his determination. Now he did get a cheat because he kept his memories,
Yeah, he did.
and so he had all of it, and so he basically had his youth to now master magic,
Mm-hmm.
and he found the slime, which was obviously the biggest game changer in his life.
Yeah.
And so,
You,
yeah, it was really
you
good.
didn't mention the best part. He's trying to be a background character.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't worry. I loved that. When he's facing off with the student council president in the sword fight,
Yeah.
and he's like acting all noble and brave, but then like right off the bat they jump to hit each other. He throws the ketchup packet in his mouth and takes the hit and flies across the arena, and he's like, background character loss number one.
Success.
And he just keeps getting up and doing all these dumb flips and just like getting his butt kicked.
Yeah.
I love how he's trying to be a background character, like how everyone is freaking out because there's a hostile takeover of the school.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, yes, finally! Like, I have to be the first one to die. That's what background characters have to do. And he just runs up and takes the hit, falls down.
She's like, this is bad. This other person's gonna get shot.
Not me. Yeah, no, it's good. I think the action's really good. The character designs are fun. I like how they put it into perspective that you have Shadow Garden, and there's this terrorist organization growing, and the part that makes me laugh is I can't remember who they're talking about. They're talking about Mundane Man.
Oh yeah.
His alias.
Yep.
And they're saying, he's like, oh, do we know? Is he a member of Shadow Garden? And the guy's like, no, he can't be. He's not a woman. Because it's only women. He has over 600 women
Yeah.
in his club.
His...
But can we talk about the names?
Sure. What about him?
Why is one of the main villains in the first season? Why is his name Perv Asshat? And why does no one in that world laugh about that?
I don't remember how he got his name.
That's like his name. Like that's not even like I would think. Oh, the main
like,
character made up that funny name because he's a perv or something. But no, that's his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just thought that was hilarious that everyone in the show calls him that and doesn't even blink about how funny or how dumb that is.
That's amazing. Yeah, pretty amazing. I think the names get better, but no, he kind of fits into his name, so
Yeah,
there's no
he's
secrets
accurate.
there.
Yeah,
They're like they introduce him, and you're like, oh, I know just what to expect.
yeah,
uh, okay, well, I'm glad you like it. I'm looking forward to like keeping up on that. Um,
yeah.
as they come out with more episodes. But um, I watched the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. And
Nice.
as we discussed, at least momentarily, it's about this guy. Just as a reminder, because this was a lot more. This, I mean, it's a little bit more obscure. It's just like it's still simulcast that's coming out, but I feel it's the first season versus Eminence and Shadow obviously did well enough to get a second season. So um, this guy Rentaro, he gets rejected 100 times. He's visited by the god of love at a shrine and is blessed to meet 100 people that are destined to fall in love with him. And the catch is if they don't, um, no, if they don't happily love each other, the other girl dies. So that poses a problem. What is he going to do with all these, like, with all these girls that are falling in love with him, right?
Hmm.
Which is addressed pretty quickly. He's just going to date them all, and they're all going to be his girlfriend.
That's ambitious of a writer to write in 100
Yeah,
girls
yeah,
and upkeep a relationship. Like that's something Oda would do out of spite.
yeah. And then it would just be
Just
like this side thing going on that you rarely, sometimes he'll go back and mention it. That's what Oda would do. But with this, it's going to be like it looks like it's going to be like 5 girls at a time. So I'm like, there's no way this is going to go, you know, that many seasons, you know.
yeah,
But it's
20 season anime.
yeah, it it is funny though. I I am going to continue watching. I'm going to watch it all the way through. But I want to talk about some funny points that I noted. So yeah, yes, he decides to date both of them, and they're one girl is just like, and you could imagine he's going to date all these different girls, and they are different, and so there's gonna be a smart girl, or like just like a scientist type of girl or whatever, right?
Yeah,
And all these different personalities. The ones that they've introduced so far, it's just like this girl that's just kind of head over heels for him and just like kind of cute, lovey. And the other girl is a tsundere. So nice
nice.
contrast there. Um, so he that initially they're just like, well, what are you gonna do? You got to pick one of us. And he's like freaking out all night. And the next day, he comes back and he's like, I've decided I'm going to date both of you. And of course, the tsundere is just like, what? Screw that, But she's ultimately fine with it because that's how they work. Um,
That's how it is.
yep. The first problem that they run into is um, kissing. So none of them have been kissed before. This is their first kiss, and they have to work out the logistics of a first kiss. It is. Oh man, I was dying. Uh, the initially they're just like having lunch, and the cutesy girl like goes to feed him a pocky, and or yeah, so she made him. She is trying to feed him, and the other girl's like, "No, let me feed you," and she like jams a cookie in his eye. He's like, because he's like waiting for it. He's like got his eyes closed, and he's like, and she's wham, one eye poked out, and then the other girl is like, okay, well I'm gonna give you this Pocky, and we're gonna eat it like Lady and Tramp style, right? And the other girl's like freaking out because she's like, no, I want to be the first kiss, right? And so she takes a Pocky, shoves it in her mouth, and goes to
Oh no.
do that, and just stabs him in the other eye, and he's like, ah! So both of his eyes are just out, and he's like got a perfectly positive attitude about what's going on, and his eyes are all red.
Oh
It's
gosh.
it's great. Um, I did want to point out one thing that was as a warning to people who may or may not watch this. There's I'm gonna go back for what I just told you happened. They're in the school, and the vice principal, who is an old lady, super saggy, boobs, face, everything, and very akin to a monster. Because she's depicted as someone who's just like crawling on the ceiling and like on the walls and just kind of like creepy that way. So
Okay.
they introduce her chasing a kid who has broken a rule, and they're like explaining, yeah, so that's the vice principal, and she's like really strict about rules. So if you break a rule, she'll chase you down and French kiss you.
Oh.
Which, like, that's not the warning. The warning is she French kissed this kid, and it like gave you an X-ray view of it just going down their throat. I
Ah.
was like, oh. But I mean,
Okay.
I was dying laughing, but I could see how a lot of people would just be like, that is horrible, that's horrific, disgusting. But I just took it as, a joke that it is. So
Okay. Good to know.
yes,
Let's check
that's
that one off the list.
that one's going right here in the trash. Um, no, but eventually they do work it out, and they basically have a three-way kiss thing,
Ah.
just all at the same time.
One of those.
One of those.
I I have a challenge. I have a challenge for you, Jonathan.
Okay.
You've seen like a million animes, so I want you in a video. Doesn't have to be the next one, but one in the near future. I
Okay.
want you to compile a list of the most hilarious first kisses
Oh.
in anime.
Okay.
I bet you could do a really good list, especially because
Okay.
instantly Chainsaw Man comes to mind. So I know you could compile something.
That was the best. I was on the floor. That was, I don't know. I don't know if I can top that, but I'll do that.
You should do it, and then you can just put like a quick clip. I mean, watching a guy getting stabbed in the face with Pocky and cookies, and the
Yeah.
scene from Chainsaw Man. If everyone knows what I'm talking about,
Good.
that would be a remarkable video to watch for sure.
All right. Noted.
So noted.
Okay.
Well, cool. We'll have to see. We'll have to think of some shows for this next week.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep up on that one. I'll keep an eye out. I don't know if you could think of one that you want me to watch specifically. I'll think of one that I want you to watch. Um, then maybe next time we'll challenge each other again to watch it. I mean,
The hard part.
I already have one that I could challenge you to watch, but I don't know about me.
Well, let me whip out
Whip it
the
out.
old
Wait.
phone. I've taken some screenshots.
Whip it out, Daniel.
Oh, whip it out.
That's what your mom said to me.
Oh gosh. Every
Yes.
time.
Got it in there.
You shut your mouth.
It's gonna be like the snail from Adventure Time. Always pops up somewhere.
Pretty much. I don't know. I feel like I had one on here. I can. Well, you know what?
Mhm.
I have notes.
You have notes. Well, while you're looking, um, did I told you about the family circumstances of the irregular witch. Do you want to watch that? There's only
Uh,
5 episodes out.
you know me, man.
There's 5. You
I
could
got.
do your 5 rule
I know, but I
thing.
gotta have a season out before I start something. It was hard just to watch the three season episodes out for the second season of Eminence and
Oh
Shadow.
yeah.
I have standards.
Yeah. At least we have one, like other than One Piece and kind of Jujutsu Kaisen to kind of just keep up on. You know. So I like that we
Yeah.
have One Piece is like the super mainstream thing we both watch.
Hmm.
Jujutsu Kaisen is it's mainstream, but it's not One Piece level. And then Eminence and Shadow is kind of a little more obscure. So I like having at
Yeah.
least those, you know, 3 things.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming because you said you started watching it, but one that I love and I cannot wait for the next season to come out
Kingdom of
with
Ruin.
is that's one that I have on my list. I don't
Okay,
know if you've seen that one,
no, I haven't.
but the one I'm talking about is a Chinese anime. God Troubles Me.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Okay,
I love it. It's so dumb.
it's so dumb.
It is hilarious. And they make fun of so many animes in that, and every episode is just dumber than the last. Um, Another one that I'm sure you've seen is a classic that we're watching with the kids right now is Asumanga Daioh.
Uh huh.
Love it.
I watched that. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I can watch God Troubles Me.
You need to power through. I don't know why you stopped. It's harder because it's in Chinese, and so you don't get the familiar Japanese like phrases and words as you're listening to it.
Yeah.
But it is hilarious.
Honestly,
I
I'm not sure
love
why I
it.
stopped it either. So I'll give it another go. I think it was just like a timing thing. Maybe I just had other things going on that got in the way. So I got one for you though.
Okay. Okay.
Blend S.
Blend S. I've heard of that. I think. Let me see.
I think it was a long time ago that I might have like mentioned it to you because it was pretty funny to me. Um, it's it's uh it's about maids at a cafe. So
Okay.
and that's all I'll tell you. So you can give a good review on it.
Well, I'm very 100% certain that Sarah will watch it with me. You know, you know which one she's been wanting me to watch with her, and I cannot remember the name now.
Hmm.
It's supposedly one of the amazing animes of our time.
Well, I don't know how
And it
amazing it
is
is if you don't remember the name.
it's okay, Oshinoko.
Oshinoko? I don't know what that
Mm-hmm.
is.
Oshinoko.
Let's see here. Oshinoko. Looks very colorful.
Yeah, like
Dramas.
apparently it's gotten amazing reviews. It's great and everything. I have Pride, so I can't watch it yet. Like
Okay.
I'm having issues, and
I'm having issues.
my poor wife has to deal with that. So
Okay. Well, maybe we'll put that on later down on the list. Because I'll watch God Troubles Me if you watch
mm,
Blend S,
okay.
and we'll go from there. But all right, I wanted to do a conversation starter here.
Oh, okay.
Um, who is your most OP anime character that isn't mainstream? That means no Goku, Saitama, or Gojo. Like, within reason, not mainstream.
Yeah, okay. I'm assuming Julius doesn't count either. Because
Julius
Black,
Novogrado.
yeah, because Black Clover is pretty mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
I love Julius though.
Yep.
Wow, okay. I mean, does Shadow count? Goodness gracious.
He does. I think he would count if you want. If you want to say he is.
I will say that he has been unparalleled up to this point
Mm-hmm.
in my head. I will say though, because Overlord's not really super mainstream.
Uh huh.
Ainz is outrageously powerful.
Yep.
I mean,
You think he's
this
more
when
powerful than
he.
Sid?
That's a good question, but I do think so.
Mm.
And my reason why I think so is because Sid essentially can stop time because he moves so quickly.
Yep.
But Ainz can stop time. Um,
But Sid can also. I don't know if Ainz can do this. I don't remember seeing him do this in particular, but um, obviously in this last episode, he was able to just recover the entire city from being ghouls. So
yeah. Well, if we're going off of power, yeah, I think Sid has a lot more utility,
mm-hmm.
but it's almost like maybe that's not true just because Ainz has so many artifacts at his disposal.
Yeah.
Like how he accidentally hands the girl the two horns
Mm-hmm.
and he gives her like one that summons like five goblins to help protect the town.
Yeah.
And then the second one she blows the horn and it's like 5,000 goblins that
Yeah.
just show up full military decked out to the gills. Mega fighting force shows up.
Yep.
I mean, it's like he just has those and he just doesn't really notice. He just goes. I mean, I can't remember his name in Overlord, but the guy who's like the strongest fighter in the kingdom, he's like the swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Starts with the.
Shoot.
Let's see, I can find this out.
While you're looking that up, uh, is it? Wait, is that Riku?
No, it's this guy right here, Gazef,
Oh,
strong.
Gaza. Right. Yep.
Like he's just he's facing off against Ainz and he's like, I'm gonna defeat you, and Ainz is like, I won't kill you. I'll stop killing everyone if you join my crew. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, let's have a fight. And so this guy's the most powerful in the kingdom, like
Mm-hmm.
the most powerful person. Well, Ainz just literally stops time, walks over, and rips his soul out in like less than a millisecond. Like done. And sure, Sid could probably do the same thing, but I just think that speed, it's just tough. Stuff.
Yeah. I so when he fought Shaltir, though, didn't he almost lose?
He did. He did almost lose because Shaltir's magic
Hmm.
was the exact like counter to his.
Mm-hmm.
But he, because his goal wasn't to beat her. His goal was to save her, even at the cost of his own life at that point.
Sure. So
And so
maybe
he
if he
was
was just
being
trying to kill her,
cautious.
then yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But I don't know. I mean, those are just shows that I've seen recently
Mm-hmm.
with people who are outrageously powerful. I mean, you know that I'm actually making my Demon Lord bracket,
Yep.
and obviously Shadow doesn't qualify for that,
Yep.
um but I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm curious to hear yours because you probably put more thought into this since you posed the question.
I had actually considered Sid, um, and my reason is I give him the one up specifically for. And I had thought about this before we even started for the reason that you gave, which is he without all of his power, he would still be quite strong. Like, and I thought of Ainz, and I was like, if he didn't have his power, he'd be pretty weak. He'd just be a skeleton that didn't know how
Yeah.
to fight, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
with Sid, he doesn't seem to. They haven't shown his limit, and he's shown that he is quite powerful. And my thought was when he recovered the entire city, and it was just like it was nothing. But it also made me think like that was kind of rude of him because a lot of people died, and he's like, well, I gotta make a spectacle of this, so I also got to get this
Yeah.
money. he's
Yeah.
like he's just freaking out the whole time. He's like, oh no, I'm dropping money. Oh no.
He's like, I will not lose even one. I won't lose one. She's like, wow, he's talking about us. He's talking about the money as it's all ripping apart. So sad.
Yeah. So, uh, anyway, I'd considered him, but I decided I have to go with Rimuru. I'll tell you why. Because
Okay.
in the a lot of people just as a warning, spoilers. I'm going to say some stuff about the web comic, as well as the light novel, which may or may not go into the anime. Uh, it's far enough down the line that I don't want to ruin it for people. So anyway, talking about it now. In the anime, it does show that reaches the um, he reaches the point where he is a true demon lord, and he could destroy universes with his Beelzebub attack if he just like let it run rampant. He could destroy her. He could just like let Beelzebub just suck in it. It's like a black hole essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he could destroy universes with that. um, and then in the light novel, he becomes a true dragon. So there's like Veldora. He's a true dragon. Belgrand um, is able to use multi-dimensional attacks. So he's able to. He ends up becoming a true dragon who can use multi-dimensional attacks. And then in the webcomic, he surpasses Veldanava, who basically created everything. He's like God, basically. And so he essentially just reaches the point where he's so ridiculously powerful, he just becomes a god. And he just is not bound by any laws of the world, the universe, anything. So
Hmm.
he's a little OP. At least there's some
Yeah.
scaling going on, you know? It's just like he doesn't start that powerful. And the light novel and the webcomic, it's been going pretty steady for like years. Um, they have a lot of material to go over. I wish they would push it over into the anime already because it's been too long. But anyway, it's obviously one of my favorite shows. So
Yeah. One Rimuru is wildly powerful with his ability to absorb people and gain
absorb
their
everything.
power.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I yeah I I'm kind of having brain fart on some other powerful people. I mean, it's hard
Mhm.
because in lesser known animes, they tend to like either way overscale or way underscale because the universe is so small.
Mhm.
Um, so
I mean, I feel like I can't, you can't include Bleach. That one's too mainstream. Um, is Fairy Tale mainstream?
yeah,
Okay.
it is. Oh, what about? Oh no.
Koro Sensei.
Oh yeah. Okay, Koro's also a good one, but no, we're forgetting the most powerful character that
Oh,
can destroy universes as well.
who?
What about Psyche?
Oh, oh, good one. There we go.
There we go.
All
What were
right.
we thinking?
Fools. We were fools.
We were fools. Psyche, obviously. Like, I don't think
Obvious
we've
winner.
ever seen him struggle. The only person that can make him struggle is his brother, and so.
True. If he was trying at all, then he could destroy everything.
Oh man. I guess as
Good
far as
point.
serious characters, Rimmer is a good one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of like how different people scale. I think a lot of universes are pretty encapsulated where you are the strongest thing in your little capsule,
Hmm.
and that's pretty much all that matters.
Yeah.
And so, because like you start to think about like how well will Sid do against Meruem, right?
Hmm.
Um, or Netero or someone like that who, that's for more mainstream because it's Hunter, but like you got these where they don't seem to have a limit in power because every time a new season comes out, you find more and more powerful people until there's basically like no one above them. Stuff like that.
Okay. Let's see. Meliodas versus who's a good one for him to fight. Meliodas versus Gon. Just kidding.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I,
Now gone or before he loses his hockey? Because either way, he's losing.
and here's another one though, because I said no mainstream, and I had considered this, but I don't know if it's mainstream or not because I've watched it and I've watched it several times because I love it. Mob from
Oh,
Mob Psycho.
yeah.
I still don't
Mob is
think he's.
powerful.
I don't think he's as powerful as Rimuru. So I kind of but he was like up there, you know.
Well, you got to understand though, he could be, but he's not a violent person.
Yeah.
Like if he chose to, if he was evil,
Hmm.
and he used his abilities, like he could be. We just don't know because he, even at the end when he stops the bad guy, whatever his name is,
Hmm.
like he doesn't stop him by killing him. He stops him, by just like containing him.
Hmm.
But like, how strong could he be? We just don't know.
True.
He's really strong though. That's a good point.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I thought that was fun and interesting brain teaser for us. So,
I have to ponder on that more deeply later. In the middle
mhm.
of the night, I'm gonna wake up in a cold sweat and be like,
I have to
"That
message
guy,
Jonathan.
wake up!"
I know who's the strongest. um,
Man, um, yeah, I think that's a good one. Good one to think about. Now I want to go watch some more shows. Now I have to investigate this because for a long time, for years, and if I would have done this in the beginning, maybe I would actually have a decent following. But I used to make brackets, and I used to just pin like best sword fighters, best fire users, best ice users, and I had like lists for all these different like fictional groups, and then I
mhm,
would send them to my friends, and we would see who was the strongest based on our opinions and logic.
mhm.
And now that I've seen so much more since then, like those brackets are probably way more in depth than they've ever were.
A little outdated.
Yeah. And so I'll have to see.
It's time to update them. Speaking of Rimuru, I finally got the figure I've been looking for.
It's on the way.
It's on the way. Um, no, I found this guy who was just like doing reviews on. It was more. It was like a guide to um, getting figures specifically for One Piece. But I was like, well, I'm sure these other sites uh, sell other things other than One Piece, and there was one of them that had the E Stream Rimuru that I've been looking for. I I went to conventions. You went to conventions. I should have just bought it when it first came out, but I was a fool and I waited. So
They just get more and more rare and more expensive the longer you wait. So
it's true. So I'm a little bit more vigilant now. So uh, hopefully that knock on wood that arrives relatively soon. It's supposed to be here within 2 weeks. Um,
nice.
and hopefully it arrives in good condition because it's coming from Japan. So cross my
Man,
fingers.
well, you're gonna
I'm
have to show
excited
it
though.
off when it gets here. You have to
Oh yeah, for sure. If
show us.
yeah, so probably not this week, but hopefully you know, next week I'll be able to show it off in the podcast. So,
Nice.
um, I had another brain teasing question I wanted to ask you. It's not really a brain teaser question. It's just more of a relative question that'll make you think a little bit. Um, Anime genres. Which one do you enjoy the most?
Oh, I I mean it's either between so you have comedy,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there's the subgenre. So you have slice of life comedy and you have action comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I think action comedy is my favorite.
Action comedy.
Mm.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's some substance, because I'll be the first to admit, yes, do I like Oran High Host Club? Of course. Do I like Asamanga Daioh, Nichijou? Do I
Mm-hmm.
like all these like slice of life comedies? I think they're hilarious. Even like I was watching with Sarah recently, Comey, like
Mm-hmm.
Comey Can't Communicate. It's
Mm-hmm.
adorable and it's super funny and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if I had to get rid of a genre besides one, it'd be action comedy. I mean, and that's what I pretty much declare One Piece as, adventure action comedy,
Mm-hmm.
because it's hilarious and it's got really good action in it.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at, I think.
Um, so for me, it's probably etchy. Just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, that was an option?
Yeah. No, I think the what I like the most is probably like kind of what I gravitate towards is like shonen comedies. So I think doesn't Eminence fall into that category?
I think so.
Let's see. Shadow genre. I mean, it's an isekai, obviously, but aside from that, uh, it's a seinen. But Psyche is what that is. So,
Yeah, that's what's tricky is yeah. Psyche is the bomb.
mhm.
And it's
It just
hilarious.
makes me the happiest, honestly. Like we talked about, I can go back and watch that, and I'll instantly just feel better in general. So that's
Yeah.
the
That
disastrous life.
yeah, so you have like Psyche and like that, which it's tough because sure it has a plot beyond being just a shonen or
Mm-hmm.
a slice of life comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It has a little bit more of a plot, but I'd say it's about 80% just like a slice of life comedy. But then it
Mm-hmm.
also just has the superstitious aspect of him,
Uh-huh.
which
So
makes
like
it just
Konosuba
hilarious.
is what that it's like it's an isekai, but it's a shonen comedy. Mashal Magic and Muscles is one. Let's see what else. That's not true. Food Wars is not that.
Oh,
You are lying to me, my face.
all those teenagers watching Food Wars.
Yeah. Battle Shonen. Is it Battle Shonen comedy? I like you could just like be very specific, I guess, about what it is that you like. So I would say shonen comedy, but for the most part, I really like battle shonen comedies, which is Assassination Classroom, One Piece, One Punch, Mob Psycho, um, Soul Eater, Fairy Tail, Seven Deadly Sins. So
Yeah, I mean, if you look, so I'm looking up some stuff on it. I'd say
yeah,
shonen is what I would declare as mine if it's like if we're declaring that as it because it's giving me a list of
yeah,
anime. I'm like, I like
specific.
all of these.
Yeah.
And then you got shojo, which I think that'd be Sarah's type of anime.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Harem.
harem, mecha. I've never been a big fan of Gundam mecha. Not very much.
It's not my favorite, but I can definitely appreciate it. Neon Evangelion classic.
Yeah.
So
I keep forgetting that Code Geass is a mecha.
Code
I keep
what?
forgetting that Code Geass is a mecha.
Ladouche.
Rebel. I just
Ladouche is a
can't.
mecha.
I forget that it's like that. I'm gonna have to come to terms with that, and I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Yep, you're gonna have to rewatch it as much as you don't want to.
As much as I don't want to, I'm gonna have to rewatch it and figure out why I was wrong. Was it just a weird time in my life that I watched it? Maybe I
You were
just like
just
hated everything back
you
then.
were full of rage, and it just fueled your rage.
Most powerful non-mainstream character is Lelouch.
Oh, shut your
Just
face!
go up to Rimuru,
You shut your
kill
mouth.
yourself. Go up to Sid, kill yourself. Go up to
Just go up to everybody.
everyone.
Kill. I'll just wear earplugs. Do I have to hear it
Oh,
for it to
that's a good
happen?
point. That's a good point. I have no idea.
All right, here's another one. What's your
Yep.
favorite anime song?
Oh man. Oh man. I have many playlists.
Bust out
Okay.
the old iPod.
The iPod, where'd it go? Here it is.
Aha! The butter pod.
The butter pod. Okay. I can rapid fire some that just slap.
Slap.
Okay. You have Black Rover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have that as my
Amazing.
ringtone.
Yes. And there's a few others from Black Clover that are amazing as well. Noragami, both intros are amazing.
Okay.
The Hey Kids, the oral cigarettes, whatever that band is. Amazing song.
Yes.
The ending of the ending of uh Jujutsu Kaisen season 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Lost in Paradise.
That was my top two. So
Yes.
yeah, I have two that that are mine because I didn't want to just pick one. I was like either this one or that one. So um,
Yeah. And then there's some good ones that just pop out of nowhere, like the Chili Beans, outro song of Wano. Like
yep.
it's really good. There's too much. You know what I need to do one of these days? I need to actually post my playlist
Yeah.
so everyone can see. Because I hate to say that I have like the best playlist ever, but I love it. Mob
Mm-hmm.
Psycho has amazing intros,
Mm-hmm.
especially the first one. I liked it really a lot.
Yeah.
And then surprisingly, Seven Deadly Sins has really good intros, at least for the first few.
Mm-hmm. You're a lot better at remembering though. Like so for me, it has to be really really good for me to even remember it because like usually I'll just skip it. Um, even if it's just good. So for me to remember my two favorites, and I know they're my favorites because I actually remember what they are, like what the name of them of the songs are, and that's what you were the two you already mentioned was "Raised by Chili Beans" and the "Lost in Paradise" by Aklo.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, man. I
I'll
like
I'll
going on for
listen to it like
days.
that's like Chili Bean and like those two anime. I'll just sit there and wait till it's over after the show every time.
Oh, well, and the animation they did for that scene too is amazing.
Oh
It
yeah.
is so good. Um, so yeah, I love the Chili Beans. I almost forgot Overlord intro 4.
Intro 4.
Or is it 3?
I know what you're talking about
Uh,
though.
yeah.
Let's see.
I can.
So they have, let's see, Clatonia,
Veracity,
LLL,
right? Yeah, Veracity.
Veracity. Okay.
Um. Oh, and okay. You shouldn't have asked this question. I can go on for freaking ever. Mayday from Fire Force.
Yeah.
Really good intro. Um.
Veracity.
And what else I added to my playlist too was Top Musica.
Oh yeah, yeah. I loved Red. That was like one of the. I honestly didn't care for most of One Piece's movies, like for real, and which people might get mad at me for that, but I have watched their movies and I didn't care for most of them, but that one was good. I loved. Um, that was like this musical, very well animated, well orchestrated. I loved it. I I love the music on that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the plot. You need to take time to look at the plot. The plot to me wasn't horribly impressive, but the
Mm-hmm.
music was so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. Um, I think I have to. I can't remember the name of the song, but um, the song from Yui, um, the first intro of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Uh huh.
I don't know if you remember what that one sounds like, but if you
I
don't,
don't.
you need to go listen to it
Okay.
because it's really good. You know what we need to do? I don't know. We need to figure out how to edit this, but we need to have an episode where we just come with our top 10 favorite anime songs and then just play like little 20-second clips of them or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be entertaining to listen to because
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot and I love all of them.
Fleeting Lullaby was the other one from Red that I really liked.
Fleeting Lullaby. I'll have to listen to it to remember.
Super good.
Man.
Uh, yeah. So, um, okay. Well, I think we're reaching near the end. Did you bring something? You said you were bringing potentially something that you wanted to discuss, but if not, then
Yeah, I know, and
it's fine.
I did bring something I wanted to discuss, but I it's not as fleshed out as I want, and I'll tell you what it is so that we can think about it for a future thing.
Yeah.
But I was trying as I was watching Eminence and Shadow,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously as you watch a ton of other isekais out there, like what makes a show go from you know hunter quality, and you have um like your classics, fairy tale hunter, all those that like are just a nice big world, and you have all these aspects of it that create that world, and it's entertaining to watch
Yeah.
because they have structure.
Yeah.
If you look at Hunter, how they break down the Nen chart for like exactly what each personality trait, like the creator of Hunter sat down and created a personality for each of the Nen types
Yeah.
and what they would have based upon that, and things like that. So my thought is like what takes a show that's like kind of immortalized as like a power adventure show
Mm-hmm.
versus some of these shorter that could be amazing plots, but they just fall flat entirely for isekais, and I mean other things too, but mostly isekais. Because Eminence and Shadow has a lot of good aspects, but I just feel like it can't be that level.
No, it can't, and I do have opinions on that, um, and I think it's largely to do with um, the the complexity of the power scaling, and so like the how they power scale, um, the depth of the characters, and the world building. So with a lot of these guys, obviously there's not a lot of complexity in their power system. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, it's insanely complicated. It forces you to have to dig to understand it. The same thing with Nen. So it just kind of like sucks you in, you know. Um, I would say that's the main difference to me. But the Eminence and Shadow, like, is as fun as it is to watch. It's going to be, you know, 2 or 3 season. It's I mean, it's not going to be like top tier. It's not going to be mainstream ever. So
Yeah, because if you look at Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood,
mm-hmm.
like they go off of a scientific, you could say, outlook on what is transmutation.
Yeah.
You cannot create something off of nothing. You have to have equal equivalent exchange. And like it just goes off that principle, and it gives the characters and the growth of those characters with flashbacks and everything to support them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you take Eminence and Shadow, and you take the time I was reincarnated as a slime, just to be example.
Yeah.
You basically only get a few minutes of who is this person
Yeah.
before they reincarnate.
Yeah.
I mean, Rimuru, before he dies, he's like walking to work, basically, and saves someone from being stabbed, and then reincarnates, and now has to, instead of showing who he was before, they're showing who he is now.
Yeah.
And same goes for Eminence and Shadow. Is Sid, before he died, I mean, it shows like a good 10-minute montage of how he trained,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't get any of that background. You don't really care who he is.
Yeah.
You just know that he's funny. And I feel like that's kind of what they're lacking, is history and some kind of uniform power system, like you said, that they can actually build off of.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of makes me think like that's not we didn't just create some like new thing just now. And
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes me think like I hope that they start coming out with more shows like that. Because what's the most recent show that's done that, that has that level, that that's not like 10 years old right now?
I feel like Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise have that. As long, I mean, and I can only say that because it already has, you know, kind of the history with its manga. Like the manga's been for both of those have been going long enough that it's they're kind of proving to have what it takes to be a top tier. They just like this, with Jujutsu Kaisen, like I watched it in 2020, like right when it came out, and the anime came out, and not a lot of people watched it, but it picked up eventually because it just had that core um, system, and obviously that works. And I think the same thing goes for Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise is a little bit more nuanced than JJK. JJK is like a little bit bloody, gory, or monsters and stuff. I think Hell's Paradise is a bit more so. And Chainsaw Man, uh, they're all kind of in that same realm, more adult rated stuff.
Well, even Demon Slayer too.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same bloody kind of feel, but it's more wholesome.
Yeah, it's quite a bit more, yeah, wholesome, but yeah, that's another one that's, you know, proven to has what it takes to be top tier. So I think even Oda like complimented um, the mangaka that like he really likes what he's doing. So
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't hand those out freely.
no.
And so I don't think that it doesn't happen now,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it does happen. Like you said, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, like these ones are coming up and
Mm-hmm.
going.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like what is out right now that we see as maybe potentially boring first season,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to turn into something cool like that.
Oh, fair enough.
So, and that's something that I'm going to have to really think about, because I don't know the answer. It's based on what I've watched, because a lot of what I'm watching right now is quick build up, quick payoff,
Mm-hmm.
and then it ends. You know, I mean, if you look at what's, if I was to analyze one that might be a little bit of an outlier randomly, is The Devil's a Part Timer.
Yeah.
If you think about it, that one has a one, like, half an episode build up to like why they're in another world now and why he has to build it. But then they just kind of build a world around it with a lot
Mhm.
of quick payoff, but they actually are building a world around it with like a semi structured power system, you know?
Mhm.
And it kind of makes me intrigued. I haven't seen the second season yet, and it could fall on its face, and I could be lying, but I'm curious to see where that goes because I don't see it as a top tier in any way. But based on that first season, it seemed like there's a lot of stuff that they had to sort out, and it seemed like it was going to go in a pretty cool direction, but still carry the comedy aspect of it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. That was a quick synopsis of it, but I don't know. I feel like there's so many quick build up, quick payoff animes coming out right now, and I
Mhm.
just want to dig my teeth into something, alongside JJK and Chainsaw Man and stuff. It's
Sure.
going to be big. Like, what's the next Hunter? That has like all these seasons.
Mhm.
You know,
I think
so
it's kind of hard too because they are still coming out with fresh episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen. Um, maybe they'll do something in between with Bleach because they had been coming out with the new Bleach episodes, and you don't like as someone putting out anime, you don't want to have all these other things to compete with so that yours is just overlooked.
yeah,
So it's easier to put these quick ones out that maybe aren't as flushed out, have those complicated systems that are going to end up being like 20 seasons long or whatever. So I don't know, but we'll see.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. I'm sure over the years and things are. I'm sure there's two full because one that caught me completely off guard, completely was Welcome to Demon School Inuma-kun.
Yeah.
Caught me off guard. There's like several seasons out, and it's a very fleshed out show. It's a comedy. It's a slice of life
Yeah.
supernatural comedy, but it's a great show.
Yeah.
It really is. I recommend it to anyone to go and watch it. Like it's entertaining. You kind of have to get through a few episodes just to get past what's going on a little bit, but
Mhm.
once you do that, it's hilarious. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I might have to
I
delve into
agree.
that a little deeper next time.
Sure.
But that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about based on watching Eminence and Shadow, because I would have loved if they would have dug more into it and then built it up a little bit more and then pushed forward with it. I think it could be a masterpiece.
Hmm.
So
True. Yeah,
there's
that's
my stuff.
there's my stuff. All right. Well, I guess next time we're going to the challenge is I will watch God Troubles Me. You'll watch Blend S, obviously, or we'll continue reading and watching what the same stuff we've been reading and watching, and go from there. Um,
Yeah, we should have a new One Piece chapter to talk about next week.
yeah,
So
it was a skip week this week, unfortunately. So I'll have to do that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go and watch Berserk of Gluttony. That they came out with another episode of that, so I'm gonna go do
have
that.
fun. I'm gonna go tell Sarah what we're watching this week.
Yeah, she's gonna like it. So
I bet she'll love this one. It looks cute. She may have already seen it. I have to go see.
cool.
But all right, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
あの夜も